Alright guys, so with the release of Black Pearl Cookie as well as Captain Caviar, and now that the arena has been reset for a while, I think it's about time for me to update the PvP tier list for September 2022. So this is going to include the addition of Black Pearl Cookie as well as Captain Caviar. The meta has kind of shifted now from using double tanks and going more of a sustain style. They're kind of going towards the burst damage as well as massive damage dealers. So I'm going to be showing you guys exactly what people are looking for as well as what people are using as of right now. And then you guys can see for yourselves inside of the arena as well, whether it is actually true or not. And then leave it down in the comments below so that I know exactly what you guys are experiencing. So once again, this is going to be based on my experience. I have reached Grandmaster 3 last season, top 500 in the pure vanilla server, and right now I am kind of still within the top ranks, so that's where I'm basing this tier list off of. Let's just get started right now. I switched off the tier list a little bit. So the meta, all right, so this is quote unquote the meta, what people are really like basically using to climb the arena. Almost everybody inside of the top 100, majority of these cookies inside of their team. So first of all, of course, it's going to be Black Pearl. Without a doubt, right now, one of the best cookies you guys can use, or if not the best. She has, the ability to vanish as an ambush. She also does massive damage based on enemies' max HP without having to always have something like Searing Raspberry or Swift Chocolate. So she can literally go full solid armor and still deal the same amount of damage as somebody who is using full on Searing Raspberry. And also she has massive debuffs for attack as well as attack speed, movement speed, as well as healing decrease. So this is going to be one of the best cookies that you honestly can use. And yes, there are teams that are going to be able to counter as well as be used against Black Pearl without having to have Black Pearl, but I'm gonna have to say right now, majority, probably like 90% of the meta teams are going to revolve around Black Pearl Cookie. All right, next one is going to be Financier. Financier, without a doubt, is going to be the #1 pick for the frontline tank that you guys can use, just because of the fact that she's able to protect your DPS, give that, light shield, which is going to be separate from the HP shield, as well as, give damage resist buff, attack buff, healing. Financier is going to be probably right now the #1 pick for that frontline tank spot. And the next one is going to be Korean Unicorn. Without a doubt, Korean Unicorn is also an amazing healer. So to quickly go over their skill, it's going to be a healing based on the HP missing. So it fits the meta right now so perfectly. Like, there's a burst damage is going to be the meta. So if your cookies are alive, Korean Unicorn could definitely heal that up right away. Also is going to be able to silence the enemies because of the fact that the tide of battle is going to come down to whether you can use your skill a little bit faster than the other. Cream Unicorn Cookie's silence is going to change the tide of the battle. And on top of that, you do get the damage resist buff from the automatic healing, and on top of that, the crit resist as well. All right, so I am going to be putting these three right now literally as the meta, okay? And then on top of that, there's still more, guys. Caramel Arrow, without a doubt, massive amount of damage being dealt inside of the arena. It doesn't matter if there's a triple tank, one tank. Caramel Arrow is just going to be a massive damage dealer within the arena. Hasn't changed. Still going to work very well against majority of the teams. Works great with Financier with the shield. So Caramel Arrow is still going to be the meta. And then on top of that, Eclair weakness debuff. You guys know exactly how strong that can be and how it can change the tide of the battle as well, especially if they don't have someone like Herb or Demonical right now. Next one is going to be Espresso. Because of the meta change and the burst damage being the real thing right now, Espresso's Magic Candy, especially if it's plus 10 and above, is going to deal so much damage. On top of that, there's that stun and the injury debuff that Espresso is able to cast onto the enemy. I have to say Espresso is going to be a great cookie to use right now, and a lot of people are going to be using him. Next one is getting Captain Caviar. You guys probably didn't think Captain Caviar is going to be meta, but because of the 42% defense down as well as the massive amount of burst damage that he's able to do, he is definitely going to be a meta cookie right now, and a lot of people are going to be using him alongside someone like Black Pearl as well as Espresso, Eclair, and even Caramel Arrow. So right now he is going to be amazing. And on top of that, he actually has a built-in passive where he's going to be immune to Black Pearl Cookie's terror debuff. So that's going to be amazing. And on top of that, he does have a extra debuff resist that he's going to be able to give to his teammates. So I have to say right now, he is going to definitely become a meta cookie right now, right? And then lastly is going to be Wallberry. Wallberry is also amazing right now because he is able to give that extra damage resist to your teammate, as well as have that extra stun that he is able to cast onto the enemies. And that final, punch is like literally a nuke. So I have to say Wallberry is going to be that top meta cookie. So right now, I have to say these 8 cookies are going to be like within the team, like majority of the time, like probably 80 to like 60% if low are going to be consisted of these cookies. So I have to say, if you have them, probably gonna be a good time to use them inside of your team. Next one, moving on to the SS tier, are going to be Sea Fairy, Clotted Cream, Dark Cacao, Cotton, Vampire, Oyster, as well as Crunchy Chip and Frost Queen. All right, so these cookies are still very good, very strong. So you guys might be wondering, how in the world is Frost Queen still an SS tier? Frost Queen's freeze is very unique to the team, guys. And also because of the fact that we're not using as many monocles as well as herb and parfait right now inside of the meta, I'll have to say, having Frost Queen's freeze is actually going to be really good in stopping the skill cooldown of the enemies, as well as on top of that, people are always going to be using Cream Unicorn as well. So if you combo it along with Cream Unicorn's silence as well as the freeze, then your team is actually going to have the upper hand in using the skill faster, allowing your team to deal more damage, and on top of that, increasing the chance of you actually winning the battle. And on top of that, Cotton is still great. Oyster is still really strong as well with the soldiers, as well as giving that crit percentage and the crit damage boost. Vampire is still very strong with the revive, pretty much like picking off any of the backline like Cream Unicorn, Black Pearl, Eclair, anyone like that, or even Espresso. And on top of that, Dark Cacao and Sea Fairy, Clotted Cream, they're still being used inside of the arena, filling up any of the spots, especially Clotted Cream targeting Financier, who might only be the single tank comp right now, using full Swift Chocolate. Sea Fairy alongside Pearl as well as Espresso. Dark Cacao, amazing combo alongside Pearl as well as Espresso as well, quickly casting that injury debuff. And then Cotton and Crunchy are still going to be a very strong cookie to use on the side, especially Crunchy, who's able to cast that attack speed debuff. And then the next one is going to be our S tier, are going to be Affogato. Affogato, you guys know the curse is still very strong and is still going to be one of the teams that you guys can use, that Affogato Caramel Arrow Eclair team, that you can still use to actually go up against Black Pearl Cookie. All right, so I'll probably have to say that's probably the one team that still has a chance, and Affogato is still going to be a very strong cookie to use inside of the arena. Next one is going to be Pumpkin Pie, still a very good cookie to use all around. And then Kumio, Kumio and the Gingerbread comp is back in a way, so Kumio is still going to be an S tier. Parfait, good defense buff as well as debuff resist, healing and things like that. Pure Vanilla, still going to be used with the HP shield and the healing, however is not going to be as strong as Cream Unicorn, of course, so he is going to be used less. Next one is going to be Purple Yam. Purple Yam still very strong right now, going to be used less than before because the meta has changed to a burst team meta, so Purple Yam is not going to be used as often, but still can be used, especially if you have raised him for the Cookie Alliance. Next one is going to be Rye. Rye still does a decent amount of damage, especially the more magic cookie level you have, the more damage you're going to be able to deal. Next one is going to be Sorbet. Sorbet has shifted down a little bit inside of the meta for the arena because of the fact that a lot of people are not going double tank anymore, just going with the burst. Sorbet is a little bit weaker and it's just better to use Black Pearl. And the next one is going to be Herb. Still going to be a good healer, but is going to be used less often now because of Cream Unicorn, as well as Purify, so makes you take a little bit of damage from the terror that comes from Black Pearl Cookie. And then the rest is kind of self-explanatory, just not very good cookies to use. I have included right here, don't use Tab, don't use Chili Pepper, don't use Fig, don't use Tail and Sonic if you have them. And then of course the rest are going to just be cookies that you guys definitely can use, but wouldn't recommend, and just go with these. All right, so that's gonna wrap up for the PvP tier list. If you have any questions, you can leave it down in the comments below. If you see anything else that you guys seem that maybe I can change and things like that, let me know down in the comments below, and then give me your reasoning as well. But that's gonna wrap it up for this tier list, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all on the next one.